Sarah Thorne received the call at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, a typical rainy October day in Seattle, 2024. It had been 6 years since her daughter, Emily, vanished during her graduation ceremony from the prestigious Pinecrest Academy. 6 years of dead-end investigations, sleepless nights, and unanswered questions about what happened to her baby girl. Mrs. Thorne, this is Frank Stone, the new facilities manager at Pinecrest. The voice on the line was raspy. You need to come down here immediately. We found something. Sarah felt the world stop spinning. Frank Stone was the new head of maintenance at the school where Emily had studied, the very place she had disappeared without a trace on graduation night. What did you find? Sarah asked, her voice trembling. It's better if you see it yourself. We were renovating the basement of the main historical building and found a suitcase. A pink suitcase with the initials EJT Emily Jane Thorne. Sarah hung up and immediately called her husband, James Thorne, the CEO of a major tech giant in the Pacific Northwest. Within minutes, they were speeding towards Pinecrest Academy. Sarah's heart beat faster than it had in years. Pinecrest was the pride of the family, an elite private institution educating the children of senators and tech moguls. Emily had been a model student, student body president, dreaming of studying international law at Yale. On June 15, 2018, at age 18, she graduated with honors. That same night, she vanished. Frank Stone was waiting for them at the main entrance. He was a man in his 50s, sturdy, with the calloused hands of a lifelong construction worker. Mr. and Mrs. Thorne, I'm sorry I have to show you this, Frank said, leading them down to the basement. We spent 3 days tearing down walls to install new electrical wiring. This morning, after breaking through a wall that looked newer than the others, we found a sealed-up space. They descended the concrete stairs into a damp corridor lit by work lamps. At the end of the hall, a jagged hole gaped in a brick wall. There, Frank pointed. Sarah stepped forward and saw a medium-sized pink suitcase, partially buried in rubble. The initials EJT were engraved in gold on the top, faded but still legible. That was her graduation gift, James whispered, choking back tears. Sarah bought it in Paris a month before the ceremony. Sarah fell to her knees beside the suitcase. Her hand shook as she touched the faux leather surface. Emily never went anywhere without this suitcase. Not since we gave it to her, she said. Frank continued to explain. The wall covering this space was made of ordinary brick, not the historical stone used in the rest of the building. Whoever did this new construction, but they were in a hurry. Did you call the police? James asked. I called them right after speaking to Mrs. Thorne. Detective Mark Harrison is already on his way. Detective Harrison, a seasoned investigator with the Seattle PD, arrived shortly. He had worked the original case, but hadn't been the lead detective then. Mr. and Mrs. Thorne, Harrison nodded solemnly. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. Harrison examined the suitcase and the hidden niche. This changes the entire perspective of the case. In 2018, we searched everywhere, forests, lakes, ports, but it never occurred to us to tear down walls inside the school. Who had access to this basement? Sarah asked sharply. Frank checked his records. In 2018, access was strictly limited. Only maintenance staff, the principal, and the head of security had keys. Is Principal Arthur Miller still working here? Harrison asked. Yes, he's been the principal for 15 years. A pillar of the educational community. Sarah remembered Principal Miller clearly, an elegant man in his 60s, always impeccably dressed in tweed suits. He had personally led the search for Emily in the early days, organizing volunteers and comforting the family. I need to speak with him, Harrison said. Where is he? In his office. Walking up to the administrative offices, Sarah noticed the school had changed. Fresh paint, new floors, but the smell remained the same, old books and floor wax. Instantly transported her back to the years she used to pick Emily up. Principal Miller's office was on the second floor, overlooking the central quad. The walls were adorned with diplomas and photos with governors. Arthur Miller met them with the same grave, sympathetic expression Sarah remembered. Sarah, James, the principal said, rising from his desk. I cannot imagine what you are feeling right now. Principal Miller, Sarah replied, her voice cold. We want answers. This suitcase changes everything. Miller nodded seriously. Detective Harrison, all school records from that period are at your disposal. I need a list of everyone who had access to the basement in June 2018, Harrison stated. Of course, we had strict protocols. The master keys were held only by myself, the maintenance coordinator at the time, the head of security, and my 2 assistants. Sarah watched the principal closely. 6 years ago, she trusted this man implicitly. Now, with her daughter's suitcase found entombed in the foundation of his school, doubts began to creep in. Do you recall seeing this false wall before? Harrison asked. Miller paused. Specifically? No. The basement has many storage rooms, and I rarely go down there myself. I trust maintenance with those tasks. Who was the maintenance coordinator in 2018? Sarah asked. Fred Lewis. Very reliable. Unfortunately, he died in a car accident in 2020. A heavy silence fell over the room. Sarah exchanged a look with James. Too many coincidences. Principal, Harrison continued, I need to review all security footage from that night. Certainly, though, I must warn you, our server only retains data for 5 years. The 2018 footage has been overwritten. Sarah felt a wave of frustration. However, Miller added, we have the physical logbooks. According to the logs, Emily was last seen at 11:47 p.m., heading towards the administrative wing. There was no record of her leaving the building. We assumed she slipped out a side door, Miller said, a bead of sweat forming on his brow. Later, forensics revealed the truth. DNA on the suitcase handle belonged to Emily, her mother, Fred Lewis, the deceased janitor, and Principal Arthur Miller. Inside Emily's belongings, they found a diary. June 15, 2018. Principal Miller wants to see me after the ceremony. He says he has a special scholarship for me, but he keeps touching my shoulder in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I'm scared, but I don't want to disappoint Dad. Confronted with the DNA evidence in the diary, Miller's defense crumbled. He confessed to accidentally killing Emily when she resisted his advances. He and the janitor, Fred Lewis, had hidden the body not in the wall, but moved it later to a remote cabin in the Cascades, using the wall only to hide her distinctive luggage quickly. The investigation revealed Miller was part of a larger ring of powerful men exploiting students. The discovery of the pink suitcase brought down a network of judges, politicians, and businessmen. Emily Thorne didn't just disappear. She fought back, and her legacy brought justice to dozens of other victims. Thank you for listening to the story until the end. Don't forget to leave your opinion about this story, subscribe to the Unbelievable But True channel, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. This motivates us to continue working on new stories. Don't miss the next amazing story that is about to appear on your screen. We are very grateful to you for being with us. In the description below this video, you can open a catalog of all the stories. See you soon.